Alright, this is the review summary of this new bathroom trailer that we have, so you can understand all the parts and pieces of it and how it operates. The first thing I want to go over is electrical hookup here on it. The unit requires two 20 amp outlets, and so we've got one plugged into the wall over here, and our second one is actually plugged in running out of the basement shop with a cord down through, plugged into an outlet that's in the ceiling just inside that vent that we're looking at right there.
Okay.
So it's significant what these are plugged into. Number one runs all the lights and power for the unit. Number three runs the hot water heater. And then my understanding is number two will run the heat when the heat works. At this stage, I have not been able to get heat to work, but we'll have to probably add a third circuit here in order to effectively get heat to work on the unit.
What about number 4?
Number 4 is not used. It's part of a winterization package when you use this in the winter time that keeps all the tanks warm. This unit didn't come with the package for number 4. So each one of these connections correlates to the inside in here to the breaker. So we've got number 1 is power for the lights and everything in here, and then the AC power. Number 2, you see over there, is heaters. Number 3 is water heater. Number 4 is that other one that we talked about here. So that is the whole electrical side of this operation. We also have in here, we have a radio that plays music inside the cabin in there. It's set to about 15 right now, which is almost perfect loudness for in there. I'm just going to quickly turn it off so we're not overpowered on the video when we get in there.
Is this can be controlled by the gas inside the bathroom?
It cannot
Okay.
be controlled by the guests in the bathroom. There is also some lighting controls here. So we have mechanical room light, which is right here. Turn that light on up there. We have the porch light, which is the outside lights out there. On there, and then we have the pump. We aren't going to use a pump because we're actually hooked directly up to water, and that operates the pump right there.
So we're not using the pump switch.
No, and so it should not be on.
What about that switch all the way to the right?
That's for the water heater. We'll go over that in a second.
Okay.
So the next stage of this is the water hookup on here. So we have water coming in over here. This needs to be on. There's a Y here with a H shut off on it. Also needs to be on. See this shut off. And then obviously this one's nothing's connected, so that would be off on there. The water comes all the way over here. And connects into the trailer right here. We purchased a regulating valve, which we have set up at approximately 40 psi. That's probably good right there. You can see this valve. It's only not 100% open, but it does not impact the flow of the unit whatsoever. So it's not a problem as far as that goes on the unit. So this is city water, and if you open right here, it says city water connection and fresh water connection. Fresh water is for the freshwater tank that's in there that we are not currently using, but this will fill the freshwater tank. There's a, I think 600 or 800 gallon tank that sits in that mechanical room where this could work as a standalone operation and not be hooked up to city water in any time.
Okay.
All right, so the next thing is, let me close this up because we don't need it open all the time. But if you're having issues with water, you want to check to make sure these things are on. So in here in the mechanical room, we have the hot water heater. So for hot water, when we operate hot water in here, we want to make sure that the air is purged out of the system. Then we can turn this switch on, which operates the hot water tank over here. Currently the hot water tank's calling for hot water. As you can see, the red light is on here. So that's how we know it's calling for hot water. Other than that, there's some valves in here that generally need to remain closed. This goes to the vent stack. This goes for a dump for the tank over there. You open that up when the tank is full of water, and it'll dump off water out of the tank. So generally they'll remain closed, as well as this pump is isolated off right now. So this is turned off here. It's not on the system, and there's no water in the tank. That's how this should all be set up for city water operation, which is what we are on as we speak.
And just to reiterate that tank back there is for fresh water tank, which we're currently not using.
Yeah, we don't anticipate using. We may use it, but don't anticipate it at this point.
Okay.
So, okay, moving on here. So as part of this, as we're right here, we're gonna store on the inside here this handle, and this handle goes to the sewage discharge right out here. So this handle goes over here, on here like this, and then it doesn't need the screw to hold it on. It can just be operated, and this is for the company when they come to dump the tank. They'll be able to operate this handle in that way, so that it gets stored in the mechanical room.
Okay.
We want to go to the back of the trailer here. So this is the sewage tank for the trailer, and this is where we can give a visual inspection of how full it is. Now it's got nothing in it right now, so
I see.
It you can then visually see, is it full, is it empty on there overall. There's also an electronic system that verifies. It's supposed to report back whether or not it's full in the mechanical room. Figure out why that's not closing. Right over here.
You gotta push it. Okay.
So right here
Oh, that's what it was.
is, now it's not showing anything, I'm assuming because it's empty, completely empty right now. But you can push this button and it should show lights here on where it's actually at for fullness on here. Next we're gonna go in and review the inside.
You want me to stop the video?
Nope.
Okay. See, go ahead and try to close that. Huh? 'Cause yeah, there you go.
So this is the ladies' room. Here there are 4 toilets in here. So as we're looking at one of these toilets, they're a little bit different. Flush happens by pushing the flush over here, and then water circulates around inside the toilet. If there's a problem at all with the toilet water splashing out, the water can be regulated by a little ball valve back here at the back, and just close it off slightly in order to regulate how much water is coming out. If there's too much water pressure, it'll start splashing out of the bowl when it does that. Now the changes we made to adding in the water regulator, running it at about 40 psi, should take care of that, and we haven't seen any problems with it. Then there's simply these for operation. These stoppers are push stoppers, just like what we have in guest rooms. So if you ever get a call that the sink's not draining, double check that stopper first and foremost on there. Also notable in this area, so it's just standard plumbing there. Also notable in this area is the lighting. We found this out the hard way. These lights have a little push button on them that'll turn them off. So if it's not working, check the push button here first. Then,
hold on. Well, what about these lights over here?
I don't know if they have. They run. Everything runs off the switch at the door.
Wow.
So then this over here is the control for the HVAC. It's on, off here. So we currently have it in cooling on here right now. And just push it for the different modes. There's heating mode. There's off altogether. That's the position it'll be in at night. There's fan, and you can separate high-low fan here. And then obviously right now we want it in cooling. Most of the time when we're using this, we're going to run it in cooling. I've got it set at 68. We're going to tend to probably be on the lower end of things, simply because people will be out in the tent where it's hot. and they're coming into an area where it's cooler, and they're going to enjoy having it a little bit cooler overall. So then the last thing you got a question?
The key for the bathroom lock, is that the standard?
Yeah, it's just a standard 1/8" screwdriver will do it.
Okay.
The last thing to note on the operation of this.
Is it the same configuration as men's?
Yes. Well, except for urinals. You got a couple of urinals in there.
Okay.
But basically, same setup.
Okay.
So on here,
So we can
we
do
have
the opening.
the operation of the stairs. So these stairs pull up like this. You lift this bar up here to unlock them, and then they pull up like so, and then they slide in like so. Gravity just holds them there all the way back in. Pull them out like this, all the way out. Put your foot on them, bring them out like that. Now you don't quite have them. And then you want this bar to drop down like it did, so it'll lock them in place.
Got it.
Okay, that's it.
Okay.